guys, it's Janet Wakeland here with Remarkably Created, and I thought we'd take a second look at those really sweet Peekaboo bags that I showcased for you on Saturday with that really sweet basket bundle. I have quite a few ideas for you, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some ideas. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for the bags, and then we're actually going to assemble two of the bags together. So let's go ahead and let's switch the camera around, bring in a little bit of light on our subject, not me, this subject right here. And the Peekaboo bags that we're looking at are from the 2022-23 catalog. You can find Stampin'UP's giftables, their bags and different boxes and things back in the accessories and more section. And where you're looking specifically is under Wrap It Up on page 140. So you're going to find our cellophane bags, we've got some treat boxes, some craft gift boxes that hold cards, our Peekaboo bags, our new embossed bags, our delicate treat bags. For those of you who did my ribbon and embellishment shares, you received a sample of these bags, and this is where they came from if you're curious about that. So let's first take a look at the samples, and then we'll give you some tips, and then like I said, we're gonna make two together. So this one is stepped up just a little bit from the tag that I showed you on Saturday in the gift bag. I added this sweet little handle. Oh my goodness, does it just take it to a whole nother level of cuteness, guys. And in this case, I used the silver paper to make it look metallic. So we've got our sweet basket, and that is this bundle right here. So you've got the bundle and the dies, and that's what was used to create this tag here. This tag here is from the Tray Chic, and in this case on the bag, we went ahead and embossed it. And one of the first tips of the night for you is that you can emboss it. It fits really nicely in either one of the sizes of the embossing folders, whether it's the standard size or the 6x6 size. But they're also called Peekaboo bags, but maybe you don't want people to be able to peek. Maybe you want to slide a gift card down inside and you don't want everybody to see that there's a gift card in there. Or maybe you want to put cash in there or some other fun surprise. You can simply embellish across that window, and now it's no longer a Peekaboo bag, just a really cute treat bag. So we've got this one from the Tray Chic. This one here has another fun tip, and it's using our big background stamps, and that's one of the ones that we'll be showcasing and actually doing for you. But inside of this one, it also has something fun. So if we open it up and I pull out what you just think is a piece of designer paper, what that is our new mini envelope that does hold a gift card. And I just used some coordinating paper, and then that fits down inside, and you've got a nice little gift. Something for graduation, something for retirement, travel, beach parties, you name it. So that is that fun one. This one here, just kind of using the bag in its traditional sense with the Peekaboo window and our tea boutique set. And we've got a sweet little tag that we created. I've got 3 tea bags in it. And this one just helps show that it is gusseted just a little bit and gives you some room for some things that aren't flat. And then the last one, again, just another tip and variation for you on this one. If you don't want the window to show, again, you can cut a piece of paper. In this case, it's kind of around 3 1/8 is how long it's cut. And then you want to cut it from just below this edge to just below. So you want to measure, excuse me, let me set that aside for just a second. You want to measure from just below this window to just below this crease. So that's going to make it approximately 3 1/8 by 3 1/2 inches. So 3 1/8 by 3 1/2. And you can have a piece of paper that goes inside of the packaging, and you can put your goodies behind the window. And again, turning your Peekaboo bag into just a bag. And while you see that all of these have, you know, some ribbon wrapped around the top of them, actually 2 of them have ribbon wrapped around the top. 2 don't, they just simply have a tag up in the corner. And then this one, the paper was moved up high over the edge and there's no ribbon. So you don't have to use the notches that are part of the bag to necessarily embellish with ribbon. It is a nice thing because it does hold that ribbon for you, but you don't have to embellish them like that. So as a reminder, these are the treat bags. They come 10 to a pack, and you get 5 white and 5 craft. And one of the nice things about the craft note cards and the craft bags is Stampin' Up! Does have 6x6 craft paper available to purchase as a paper pack. So you can go ahead and create those coordinating tags and elements using our craft paper. As I mentioned in our previous video, there is a Ziploc piece here. It is extremely secure. You saw me probably kind of struggling to get my fingers in there and pop it open. It is lined, so I don't know if you can see the shininess. It is lined, so if you're putting something in there that is maybe a little greasy or something like that, it is food safe and it is lined. And then what I found is that if I really want to get that bottom part open, is that, you can kind of open it up and push it. Now, if you're going to put food in it, right, you want to be careful that what you're using is a clean spoon or utensil or something like that. If you're just putting a gift card or something crafty, your bone folder always comes in handy. And what's kind of nice is depending on what you put in it, once you've got that bottom open, it does stand really nice. So let's go ahead and let's put 2 different bags together for you. Just have a little bit of fun tonight. So what I've picked is I've picked the Happier Than Happy stamp set. It is actually a bundle. You have some dies to cut trees and the bear, the stump, the fox, mushrooms, the ground. So you do have some dies that go with it. And I went ahead and I pre-stamped the bear. And I don't know if you can actually see the slight difference between the 2 bears. After I stamped the bear, okay, there it is. What I did was you can use your water painters. I still have the older aqua brushes. And I just simply went ahead and went over it with water, kind of just blending the image a little bit because it is what we call a distinctive stamp. It has those little dots. And by running water over it, it just kind of gives it a watercolor look, if that makes sense. It does have that natural shading built into it, that side of his belly and things like that. So to create the tag for this, let's go ahead, and I have all the pieces and the elements all ready to go here. Let's dump these out. And I did not bring the die to the table, but I'll give you another fun tip, and I think it will make sense to you. So very first thing that I did was I embossed the bag. If you don't want the sheer part to end up embossed, you can put a small piece of cardstock down inside, or I mean not down inside, over the top right here, and that will help prevent that. But I kind of like that continuity of having that embossed, if that makes sense. So we'll set that aside for just a moment. For the tag, and I can use this basket to illustrate the concept. We don't have any tags that are really, really long, but any one of your dies can be turned into a tag by cutting paper the width of the lining of the top lip and sliding your cardstock under so that you're only cutting the top of the tag, if that makes sense. You're not cutting the bottom. So I could make a really cool kind of a shaped, kind of, wider at the top and more narrow. And that's how I did this longer tag, if you're wondering, where did that tag come from? I simply just used I call it the over-under approach to the die cutting. So we have our sweet tag. This is from the sweet as well. This paper here is from the sweet, and I love it because it looks like little hearts. Okay. And there we go. Oh, we're going to be in trouble. Let's just switch to dimensionals because dimensionals always work. The reason why we're going to be in trouble is because the adhesive was just about empty. Put that on. And I'm actually going to put my bear on first. bit of liquid glue. These dies are all from the bundle. So we'll just use a little bit of liquid glue, which dries clear, which is very nice. We have our little stump. My fingers are going to stick to everything. I don't know about you guys. I don't have a dauber handy. A lot of times I use a dauber to kind of smear that around. And let's just get a little bit up our trees. I love creating tags. I think they're so much fun. This could also just simply be an embellishment on the front of a card. I am not going to stamp this just yet with a greeting. I'm going to leave it off, but it is going to go across his body like this. And in this case, you could be making a gift for a sweet baby. But I think that it would also be a great tag for a small gift for a young child as well. And then also for your Papa Bear. So it would be great for any of your fathers for Father's Day. So we've all got some, hopefully got some great Papa Bears that we want to be celebrating. And then the last thing that we'll do is we'll take some linen thread. I always say if Stampin' Up! Ever retires linen thread and crumb cake cardstock, that's going to be the time for me to retire. I just love linen thread and crumb cake so much, guys. And yes, it's a very long tag, but it's for a reason. So I want to wrap it around twice just to give it a little bit more fun, I guess you want to call it. And we'll make our bow, put my ribbon on a little lopsided. And we'll just trim that off. And you've got a nice sweet little bag. So embossing folders, absolutely great way, easy way to transform them. Sweet little tag. I'm going to bring this one back in just for a second before we do the next one. In this case, I stamped the greeting right onto the bag. The bags are extremely stampable. If you are going to stamp them, you want to make sure that you stamp them while they are totally flat. After you've opened them and played with them a little bit, they're not as flat anymore. And so before you even pop them open to play with them and see what's going to fit, that's a great time to be stamping them, is when they're like that. And so we're going to take advantage of that concept and that idea, and we're going to use that one right now. Let's save our little tag for our bear. And in this case, we're going to work with this really big, large stamp. You can use these large stamps on a big block. They work great like that. You would just take the backing off of your stamp. You can put your label on it, or you can choose to leave your label off. I know some people, myself included, I prefer to leave my labels off. Just a personal choice. And some of it came from back when our labels didn't stick really, really nice, but now, oh my gosh, they have a great grip and they work well. So you can choose to use it on a block. If you don't have the big block, don't let that dissuade you from investing in the nice big stamps. You can also just use it, or the big blocks. Yeah. If you don't have the big block, don't let that dissuade you from these really cool big background stamps, because you can use it simply just like this, and I'll showcase that for you right now as well, trying to make it simple and easy. With big stamps, I always stamp rubber side up. That way I ensure that I get a really good coverage of the pad, and I can also control you know, like lines on it and stuff. If I had this in my hand and I was stamping it this way, the chances are I'd have ink everywhere and I would have sharp lines from the edges of the pad and everything. So I like to stamp rubber side up, and I like to use our 11 by 17 grid paper. I'm going to place this with the shiny side, that peekaboo window, down. And look at that, guys. They are a perfect fit on the background stamps. Aren't those amazing? You're going to take your background paper, you're going to fold it over, and now you're just going to give a really good rub. That helps keep your fingers clean. And let's flip it over, and we should have some nice sun rays. Now you see that ink right there? What's pretty darn cool is that you just wipe it right off. okay? Just take a tissue and wipe it right off, and it's all gone, just like that. So we're gonna fold that over, and we are gonna finish this one up here for us, and grab my linen thread. So I did cheat a little bit. I did make a really cute tag ahead of time. Any of you go to the beach with your girlfriends? Any one of you have pool parties? Anybody having a kind of a summer, you know, tropical themed party? But look how darn cute this is. This is our new Summer Splash swimsuit, I guess. Stamp set. I don't have the actual name right in front of me. But I love that it has the Hello Sunshine greeting in it. This is the Paradise Palms that was carried over from the other catalog. And I'm gonna go ahead and take some twine because again, it has that beachy feel, kind of that raffia feel. And let's just get a bunch of it. And I'm gonna hold it well, I'm not gonna hold this one. Sorry about that. We're not gonna wrap this one the same way. Okay, we're gonna do something just a little different. We're gonna open that. Because I wanna give you one more idea. And all I'm doing here is I'm just folding this a couple of different times. I want to make those just a little shorter. But I'm just kind of making this chunky little, and linen thread, guys, there's a ton on it. Don't be afraid to use it. When you hoard your stuff, you deprive yourself of guilt-free shopping for new products. That's my theory anyway, okay? And that's how I justify my new products anyway. It's because I use them, so then I don't feel guilty about them. Let's just make sure that this is going to stick the way that I want it to. See if it's going to show the edges. We need to pull it just a little more. We'll fuss and fuss and fuss here for just a few minutes. See if it's going to stick out all the ways. I'm just going to flip it over for a minute just to see if it's going to... No, hold on a second, guys. Let's measure it a little better this time. Okay, we got it now. Sorry about that. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, Carl, you should have had that measured ahead of time. Nope. I just had the idea in my head. It was not an absolute finished product other than the tag. So let's get these off. And squish that all down on my adhesive. And that's going to go up here in the corner. And I have something fun, okay? No judgment. This is a no judgment zone, but I have some small little treats. It is a girls' weekend after all, so hey, we're not going anywhere. We're going to enjoy time together. And I'm just going to really kind of use the larger one. And then I'm going to put the second one beside it. And my last tip for you is that depending on what it is that you are putting in the bag, you don't really need to stress over the top closing, okay? So I know that it seals, and that's great if you want, especially if you're sealing money in or a gift card in, if you're sealing food in, if you're sealing granola, if you're sealing, you know, like little M&Ms and Skittles and things like that. If you're seasoning, maybe you're putting bird seed, maybe you're putting some type of seasoning or chocolate covered espresso beans or whatever. But just because it has a zippy at the top doesn't mean it has to be sealed. Trust me, they were going to open it and take these out anyway, right? So how's that for a fun little party, or if you've got guests? The other thing I think that these little packaging ideas are going to be great for, guys, are for those of you that have events where you like little party favors. They're also going to be great for those of you who like to do little pillow gifts and things like that for guests that maybe are staying overnight. So lots and lots of fun ideas and possibilities with these bags, guys. Don't overlook them. They are a great investment. Make sure you stick a few on your next order. I really believe in having a stash of bags and boxes and things like that for those gift-giving emergencies. There's no reason to be running out to those big box stores for a gift bag or something like that. Stampin' Up's got great ways for you to package, and you can have a nice, fun little stash of gift bags and things like that. So thanks for joining in. If you have any questions at all about any of the bags, please ask them below and I will scan through your comments looking for them. Thank you to everybody who shared. Be watching. I'll be back to picking winners from people who do share my videos. So be watching for maybe the fact that it might be you. I really appreciate it when you guys take the time to watch and view my videos. So have a great evening and have an amazing, remarkable week, everyone.